Namaste. We are doing a series on how to surrender to divine plans. And inside of that, we've learned 6 steps to surrender, why surrendering feels difficult in the beginning, why do you have a lot of resistance. And then we also talked about what's the difference between working hard, applying growth mindset, or and push harder, when to do that versus when I should align with divine plan. Perhaps I'm failing because it's not aligned with my divine plan. When is that aha moment? This we learned so far. So if you have not watched these videos, please do watch it. Will do it good by you because that's how you complete your karmic loops and attain liberation and achieve success in whatever you are planning to have. And then in this video, we're gonna look at um, the moment you want to take some action aligned with divine plan, the first reaction or the first emotion, the trigger would be fear. It would be intense discomfort. So what are some steps I can take to help myself move from fear to freedom? Let's watch in this video. And if you're someone who are watching me for the first time, please do like and subscribe so that you get to understand what are some practical ways you could heal yourself from your recurring patterns of pain and distress and attain liberation from that problem and achieve success in all that you are desiring, be it at your material world or in your spiritual world, to be a happy being. We'll discuss a lot of things on these areas, and if that's something interesting to you, please do subscribe. So coming back to our the topic, which is how do I move from fear to freedom? So I have this feeling like if I don't do this, something bad will happen. I have to fix this. I have to say this. I have to hold back now. I have to win. I have to be seen. Or else there's something that your mind speaks, that you have some answer coming from your heart. Or I can't let go, or I will lose control if I allow this, or if I don't do this. I love doing this. It's for my own safety that I'm doing this. It's not safe otherwise. So, whatever are those situations that heart speaks out when I say these process, these are all coming from your ego-based self, because in some past life you had an experience which was traumatic and you are still holding those imprints and reliving your life from the past, reshaping every of your current life in putting you in survival loop, which is wounded or carrying some ancestral memory. So from there, all of this, whatever we are trying to move, is your ego karmic imprint. From there, what are we trying to do? We are moving into a self inquiry process in understanding if a fear surfaces while I'm planning to do certain things. When I do sadhana, I do get a inkling. There's a noise in my head and there is a knowingness that starts. So as you keep doing your divine surrendering, your spiritual, and you're doing everything right, that noise in the head comes down and the divine guidance that comes up as knowingness starts. So please get aware of the difference between the noise in your head versus that feels like divine guidance. That's your anchor. And then whenever you feel that there is this fear that is surfacing, the moment I want to take an action, which is my divine self is speaking, not from the survival self, ask yourself, what am I afraid? What am I afraid that if that will happen if I don't do this? Or what would happen if I just didn't act on this fear and not get stopped by it? So what will happen? Or what is that I'm afraid will happen? These are the things that will give you the it will expose your core fear. This is what I'm actually fearful about. And it is all surrounding usually around your self worth or your fear of rejection or your loss of control or you being seen or unseen. Okay, because something happened, so that's what you're holding on to. Then understand what action or thought is raising so that I avoid this fear. Meaning, the moment the divine me is saying, usually you don't speak at a particular moment. And in now divine you is the divine in you is speaking. Say and you get a sign that I have to speak. And when I want to speak, the first thing that I come is no, no, keep quiet. So the fear, and then there is an action also that comes that no, 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 shh, don't talk. So that is what you need to understand. What is that action that is coming instead of not being fearful and doing that action aligned with your divine self? What is that the fear comes, and also it will give you an another alternative suggestion that don't do this or do this, whatever that is. So what is that it's raising? Either you're explaining yourself or not withdrawing from taking that action, what your divine you is saying, or you're proving somebody, or you are pleasing somebody, or you're asserting dominance, whatever that old survival self, usually your fear based self will tell the same. Because why? It kept you safe from the time that happened in between multiple lifetimes, and then from your birth till now, whenever the time is that you're watching this video. So far, this survival has kept you safe. So obviously, it tells you the same. That is your ego coping strategy. It is very familiar. It is autopilot because it's been coming from God knows from when. Now you need to understand. The moment I get that sign that I want to do this, but the moment I means it's not you. The divine you is the divine in you, or because of your sadhana, or the noise in your head. Maybe sadhana can be your mantra japa or your uh, through multiple parabhakti. We have done videos on what's parabhakti. So multiple ways you connect with divine, or simply doing mindful meditation, or only object-based meditation. You will get to the silencing of your noise in the head, which keeps chatting. So what is the noise in the head? That the moment you close your eyes for doing meditation, what you keep hearing is what I'm referring to noise in the head. But after you calm yourself, there's something that comes, and it feels like that is a very small voice which is just trying to come out and speaking, saying, don't. Now, usually you stop talking here. I'm asking you to stop. Usually you get stopped whenever someone says speak in public. Now I want you to speak. Usually you end up proving somebody that how you are good. In this moment, I want you to keep quiet. So it says so. But you will not be able to stop yourself. You will try to, that fear will say, oh, if I keep quiet, somebody is going to prove me that I'm an idiot, I'm no good. So why? In some life you would have felt you're no good, and all this life you've been feeling no good. So you have this compulsion to prove others that I am somebody, asked or unasked. Now to align yourself from divine plan, that small you which is in a very small voice is saying, don't speak. Nobody's asking you to prove. Just keep quiet. But you will not want to listen. You want to go speak. The moment you realize that little voice, that it's not the little voice in my head that's noise, but the guidance wali voice. It's not noise, it's voice. So the guidance wali voice is saying, keep quiet. And I have a compulsion to speak because I have this fear that if I keep quiet, somebody's gonna overpower me or whatever that is for you. Understand where this is coming. To go back to the imprint. You do not know because you're not working with people like us who are healers and who knows how to tap about your past life karma and from where this all is emanating, giving you a do-it-yourself guide so that you don't have to, you know, worry that you don't have access to or you don't have means to and stuff like that. Okay, so when did I first learn this uh, automatic action that this was necessary for me to stay safe, valid, or loved? Valid means what? Somebody said I'm no good. That means I'm not valid. I'm not validated, right? I was felt I'm not valid in that moment. So for that reason, from then I started proving myself. We need it or not, I get so I have to show that I'm somebody. I'm good to make myself feel valid. Or if someplace I feel by keeping quiet, I was not safe. So I have this need to say, I have to keep myself always in people, in publics for me to feel safe or to feel loud, whatever that is for you. Okay. So in this life, what is the first? Don't look at yesterday, day before yesterday. Go back into your memory lane. Maybe it is at your 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 11 years, 17 years, whenever your personality is shaping up. What is that first time you heard that you know a kind of uh, confirmation that this is how you need to act and this is how you shouldn't act in this particular scenario? Okay, when you think, you will either hear a voice, a memory, a pattern, either coming from your family, your culture, or your some trauma you have faced at a very formative years of your childhood, okay, in this life. So that's your karmic layer. That's your first entry into your from the soul. That's how it entered into from your subtle energies. It entered into your this life. So this is your soul level conditioning. It's not psychological conditioning that you're being thinking or your mental pattern conditioning. So from karmic layer, it moved into your mental layers. That is the reason I keep telling the happy being framework, which I've researched for 15 years, is all about your karmic layer, energy layers, then your psychological layers. So far we have done only psychological layers, and mental health all deals with your psychological layer, and then it thinks that's the end. But our Vedic systems have gone multiple levels deeper and said it's not just at the psychological level, but we do have two more layers that determines our well-being, and that's what I'm trying to um, get that with proof on how this translates into. So the moment you get present your karmic layer, instead of trying to fix or override that thought, just breathe into that fear. Aha, I do have this. Aha. And then tell, okay, I got it. I saw you. I don't need to act from that point at this point. Okay. I don't want to act from that compulsion that if I don't act, something is going to happen. If my divine me is guiding me to keep quiet, despite fear, I will hold myself, hold that fear. I'm not gonna push away. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna be with it. I'm talking about mindful concepts. So be with that fear. See that fear coming, rising, falling. Again, another fear rising, falling, and then slowly it gets zero. Either you can do that, or you can be with that fear. You know that there is fear in your heart or whatever that emotion is for you, and breathe till that fear gets to zero. To get to clear when do I start breathing and when to stop, or when do I do start my japam of my mula mantra or whatever deity's favorite deity, Ishtadevta. Like say for example, I have my Shiva is my Ishtadevta, Lord Shiva. So I think I will say the moment I have this compulsion to speak because I need to prove that I am somebody, I will understand where that compulsion is, and I'll also understand where that fear is coming if I don't speak now. How much is that compulsion to speak? How much is the fear that I should not? If I don't speak, something is going to happen. Just understand the intensity of both and breathe till your compulsion becomes zero and your fear becomes zero. Okay, so the compulsion is to speak. And the fear is if you don't speak, something is going to happen. Just be present to both phenomena and breathe till both of it becomes zero. So you don't have to get present to the phenomena is gone or not. Just do your Mola Mantra Japa till your heart, wherever that you feel that fear in your body. That's why I keep saying body is your best friend. You'll understand what's happening through your emotional and psychological level through your body sensations. So get present to where in your body are you feeling the fear, where in your body are you feeling the compulsion. If you can name the size of the compulsion, is it a lemon or a hot ball or a golf ball or a basketball or a gym ball, whatever is that size of your compulsion, what is the size of the fear? You have to name the size of the fear wherever that is in your body. Can be at your heart, at the back of your neck, at the back of your knees, at the back of your backbone, wherever different places, or it can be like gut. Just figure out where that is and what's the size of that fear and compulsion. Compulsion to speak, fear to if you don't act, the fear of something will happen. So both of it, name it. Is it what size? And just be present to that size. After that, just allow yourself to breathe, either box breathing or 478 breathing, or do your mantra japa continuously like pranayama or any other normal chanting. Any other way works. So just keep any of these works. Okay, just keep chanting, and after some 5 1 minute or 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes, again get present to how much is my fear, how much is my compulsion. So again, if it is not zero, means compulsion is not zero, compulsion is also not gone, it's not zero, and fear is also not gone, it's not zero. Again, do for another 1.5 minutes. So keep doing it in the orders of 1.5 minutes. Definitely, that will calm down. After it, the fear comes down, the compulsion comes down, listen to that inner you, what it said. Keep quiet. So just be quiet. Okay? So that you are not giving power to the ego driven self, but you are giving power to the divine driven self. And then prove to yourself that, see, I kept quiet, but I'm okay. Whatever that fear was saying, don't do, or your compulsion is saying, I have to do, I have, and look at the after you did not do that action, you calmed your fear and did not take that action driven by the ego driven self. What is the consequence? See, it is not as what you have feared. It's not that much as intensity that you have feared. Even that's it's a small thing that you have taken in line with what your divine self is speaking. It's fine. Because that's how the surrendering will start. Choosing the path which is aligned with my divine self, not necessarily the ego based self that's coming for survival. So instead of saying I must respond, if I don't respond, maybe I will be proven wrong. And what is the fear? If I stay silent, I will be treated as somebody who is not valid, who is not good enough. So the compulsion is I have this over explaining or I'm arguing how I'm good, how am I, my point of view is correct. So what is the karmic imprint? While growing up, if you go back and trace where is my first it is started, as I'm growing, maybe 5 years, 6 years, I was always unheard. I was always questioned about how do you know? No, it's all. So you felt like unless until you speak and explain and over explain or argue about how your point is right, you won't be valid, you won't be heard. People won't treat you as somebody who is knowledgeable or good enough to consider your point of view. So it's how it starts. Then you will say, no, I can't let people understand. It's okay, but doesn't erase the fact that I'm knowledgeable. So I don't have to keep on proving to people how I am right, how I'm good, how I'm wiser, how I'm knowledgeable. Okay, let me be quiet at this moment. So the moment I feel that urge that what if people will start feeling that you are not valued, you are not good, you keep quiet and say, It's okay, let me see what happens. At this moment, my divine self is asking to quiet. I'm gonna take my Moola mantra and do the japa till I feel good. I don't feel these bodily sensations of tightness at my heart or the size of, and the tightness is at the size of cork ball or football or basketball, whatever that ball size is for you. And you breathe and it goes down, and you don't take action about what the noise in your head is saying, but take action in the little heart what it is talking, and prove to you I'm safe, nothing happened. And this is how you're gonna move from fear to freedom. Doing what? Breathe as your anchor, using your Moola mantra as your. So if you don't have any mantras, just take whatever is your favorite god. Just say Om, favorite god, Namaha. That's also fine. Om, favorite god, Namaha. You just, if you want to use some bijakshas, use Him, Cream, Clean. These are all very powerful bijakshas. No, nothing will happen. Please trust and just go ahead and take those Moola mantras and take your Ishtadevatas and names and keep chanting till that fear dissolves. So that's how you embrace freedom and hear to the little voice in your heart, which has to be strengthened eventually while your noise in your head calms down. So the moment this happens, where the noise in your head is zero and your voice in your heart becomes strong and you take action aligned with your voice in your heart, that's when you have mastered the art of surrendering, moving from freedom to at least taking the first step, moving from fear to freedom. Let's look at multiple examples so that you would be grounded in this topic, right? So I hope you enjoyed this topic. Try to apply this into your life to make it to make much difference in the areas you are struggling to surrender and where fear is taking over, not to take actions aligned with your divine self. Namaste.